Hello, everybody. I'm Neil Longie Long. I've had a face transplant, and now I look exactly like Russ Kane. It was a long decision for me. I wasn't sure whether I was going to do it or not, but I decided that I wanted to look like Russ. And I kept looking at myself. I said, Neil, I said, you're a handsome man. You're a special fellow. You're a funny man. You're headlining. You're doing all sorts of brilliant things, but you don't look like Russ. So I went away and I got it on the National Health, actually. It cost me 7 and 6pence in old money. I paid cash. And now I look like it. Hi, everybody. I thought it would be lovely to, as I am not officiating at any funerals at the moment, I thought it'd be lovely if I jumped on the show and spent some time with my old friend, my old mucker, my old Neil, basically. Just hope you're okay. What is it? It's Wednesday today, the 4th of March. I don't know how we've got to March. What the hell's happened to 2026? It's been bonkers for me. It's been absolutely bonkers. Last week, the reason why no one's seen me for a while is last week, I officiated at, you ready for this? 7 funerals in 5 days. 5 working days, 7 funerals, and a guest at another one. So one I had 3 funerals in one day. 7 funerals in 5 days, and another one on just gone on Monday. And it exhausted me. Absolutely just whacked me out. Let's see what the comments are coming in. It's lovely to see everybody. Thanks for joining us. I always see. Say, Ian in Surbiton, the lovely Ian. Good afternoon, Russ. Good afternoon to you. And from the even more fabulous, no offense, Ian, but Julie Voice, formerly of Dallas, Houston, and now of Guildford. We have a guest. I know nothing about this guest, but I'm going to say hello because God knows where Neil is. He's I don't know, in makeup or some shit. Anyway, hello.
Hello.
Hello. Right there, getting it. Hello. How do I pronounce your name?
Okay, so it's Kira. It's Irish.
Kira.
Yes, it's Kira.
What, like Knightley.
Yes, but I spell mine Ciara rather than Kieras. Yes, mine's slightly different.
I know, but is your surname Knightley? That would be fantastic.
No, it's Lawrence.
Oh, so your first name could be Jennifer, right? And then everyone would be going, wow, table for Jennifer Lawrence. And they'd be going, there's somebody called Neil Long who's just joined. I've never met him. I hear he's quite a
hello, Kiara. I'm so sorry. I was in the toilet. Thank you very much.
Oh, Jesus.
Thanks for sharing.
Sorry about that. A bit too much information, but otherwise Russ is going to rebuke me for being late, but I had no choice.
Kira, give it 10 minutes, love. Give it 10 minutes if I were you. Oh, man. Jeez. Right, this is your lovely guest, Longie. So I'm going to let you do all the introductions and everything because I'm just a passenger today. Just a passenger.
Well, this lady is doing some fascinating things, pretty local to me in southwest London, actually. So
hang on, whoa. Sorry. Ian's got a good point. Have you washed your hands?
Yes, I've washed my hands.
We've got a guest. We've got a. I don't want,
David even got running water where he lives in Surbiton. I don't know what he's having a go at me for. Anyway.
He's got a stream which he goes down to and he beats his washing on a rock. I know what it's like in Surbiton. Hey, Kira, I'm going to show you something really cool.
Yes.
Because look at this.
Welcoming to... Might I do the introductions now?
Yes. No, because I'm talking
By the way, Russ... By the way, Russ, I've heard of you. Your name precedes. I've heard of you, and your name precedes. I've heard of you, and I've heard your name, and your reputation precedes you.
As what? As what?
Nice. No. I've heard your name, and I've heard good things about you. So
you're very kind. Right, I'm going to be quiet, ladies and gentlemen.
In what context, Kiara? Because Russ does many things. In what context have you heard of Russ?
So somebody said they met you someone I know said they met you a few years ago at an event or something, and they said you were very nice. So your reputation precedes you.
I must have been drunk. Go, Neil, over to you. I'm going to be quiet.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome to the Midday Show today a lady that's doing great things, pretty local here in southwest London, and we're going to find out all about it. We welcome the one, the only, the inimitable, Kiara Lawrence. Hello.
Kira.
Hello. It's actually pronounced Kira. Thank you.
Kira.
Yes, it's Irish. It's
Yeah.
Kira. Yes.
Even I knew
How
that.
many people get that wrong?
Everybody.
So
me.
many. I get called Clara. I get called Claire. I get called Kiora. I get called Kyra. Kara. I get it all, and I'm just like, okay, whatever. So yeah,
So it's Kira.
Yeah, it's
Kira.
Kira. Yeah,
Like Nightly.
I mean,
like
be
Nightly,
fair-
but
like
spelled differently.
Nightly. That's what we've established.
to be fair,
Yes.
my name gets spelt wrong by
What,
my
Long?
my.
How does that?
No, Neil.
Long?
It gets spelt wrong by all my friends that I've only known for goodness knows how long. So
I just say I answer to anything because I've been called worse in the past, so I just answer
No,
to
you
anything now.
shouldn't. It's important. Your name is important. It should not. You shouldn't answer to anything. I don't
Yeah.
agree with that.
And I've had
Anyway,
worse in the past, so whatever. I just say
I want
yes
to know
now.
what Kira does. I'm a gog. I'm a gog, fella. Come on.
well, if we could just get on with the show, I will start asking
Okay.
her
Well,
about.
she keeps
Come on, Kira.
interrupting. She
Tell
keeps
us what you
interrupting
do.
with-
Okay, so first off, thank you so much for having me on today. It's a real honour to be here. So
welcome.
my name's Kira Lawrence, and I host my own online podcast. I'm a podcaster, as well as being a disability campaigner. I do lots of things in the disability world because I live with a learning disability, so I'm very well known in the disability community world. But when I'm not working in the disability world, I am a podcaster. But also my podcast is about disability awareness because that's who I am. So basically, on the 26th of March, so in a few weeks' time, which is very exciting, I'm going to be hosting my first ever live show. Woo!
And this is local to Southwest London.
Yes.
It's in Epsom, isn't it?
So
Now, what
it's
I've done, I've got a link to your podcast there, which I'm popping on the screen. I've simplified it because it's about 150,000 letters long, and nobody would ever be able to type that in a month of Sundays. But if you go to tinyurl.com/Kira, spelled Ciara, Kira podcast, it will take you to your page. Carry on.
Thank you. So tickets are on sale on Eventbrite. So I hope you're both going to book tickets and come along.
Well,
It's 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. The venue is called Metropolis. It's in Derby Square in Epsom. So it's very well located, very near the train station. It's all near the buses, where the buses are, so it's very accessible to find in Epsom. It's very near Epsom Library, so if anyone knows where that is, they'll be able to find it. And it's going to be brilliant. So on the night, I am going to have a wonderful interview guest called Anna Kennedy, OBE.
oh, we love her. I know
very
Anna.
good friends,
Anna
yes.
Kennedy used to have her own show
Yes.
on a previous radio station that I ran.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
Anna Kennedy.
Yes. So Anna is a brilliant person in the disability community world because she has two grown-up sons who both have autism, and
Yep.
she's done so many amazing things in the sector to raise awareness of autism. She has her own charity, Anna Kennedy Online, and it's all about raising positive awareness of autism. She's done so many amazing things. So she's going to be my guest. So I'm going to be interviewing her. She's going to be chatting to me. I'm going to be chatting to her. So that's going to be really lovely.
Yep.
Every year in London, she hosts Autism's Got Talent. She
Yeah,
runs it
I know.
every year.
I've
It's like
done
an
that.
annual thing.
I've done that with her. Yep. done
Yeah,
that with her.
brilliant.
Yep, been in touch with her on that.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
some of her performers are going to come and perform as well on the night. So there's going to be
Brilliant.
performance, there's going to be chat, there's going to be a raffle, and all the
And
money
what
from
date
the
is
raffle
this?
goes
What
to
date
Anna's
is this?
charity. 26th of March,
Okay.
26th of March,
which is a Thursday, I believe.
which is a-
Thursday, 26th
I
of
shall
March.
look it up now. 26th is a Thursday.
Yes.
I've looked it up. It is a Thursday. So
is.
what? I mean, how did you get from where you were
Ask
to
the
doing?
question that everyone wants to know.
Yes.
What is, go on, Neil. We're all dying to know. We've got to ask the question.
I don't know what
What
question
is
you
your
got in mind.
what is your learning disability, Kira?
Okay. So I get asked that a lot. I get
Hmm.
asked that nearly every day in my career by people.
Okay.
So I was diagnosed with my learning disability at the age of 10 years old. I wasn't diagnosed at birth. I wasn't diagnosed pre-birth. I was diagnosed at 10 years old. And basically what it was is I went through the old SEN statementing process when I was 10 years old. It's now called an EHCP, which is an Education, Health and Care Plan. And basically it basically gives you a diagnosis, and it helps because it shows you what you can do, what support you can get. So basically my learning disability, coming back to the question, thank you, mine is basically I find it harder to learn new things. I find difficult things a bit harder to learn. I need a bit of extra time. I need it broken down in really easy parts. So my learning disability affects the way I learn, understand and communicate. So a learning disability is a condition that starts just before birth, during birth and after birth. It's lifelong, it has no cure, and basically it affects someone for someone's whole life, and it just basically affects the way you learn, understand and communicate. But with the right support every day, people that
we're frozen.
It seems that you've frozen, Kira.
And now we'll never know. I like this.
Okay.
Are you back? Yeah. No.
I'm back.
Hang on.
Okay.
Oh, you're back.
So,
yeah. Thank goodness.
Okay, I'm back. Great. Okay. So my learning disability is basically it's when I was diagnosed, it was called a learning and language difficulty and disability, and that's kind of in short what it was called. And basically I went to 3 different schools growing up in the area. Sorry, I won't name them. And basically I found school life very difficult. I was singled out. I was isolated at school. I found it very hard to learn. I just gave up with education. And so basically age of 10, I was at a mainstream school in the area, finding it very difficult. I was getting quite badly bullied. I was having a really shit time. Sorry, pardon my language. Sorry.
It's all right. You can swear.
Believe she said shit. Cannot believe your guest, Neil Longie Long.
You can swear.
Sorry.
It's fine. We're not Ofcom related. It's fine. You can swear. You can say shit. You can say fuck if you like. It doesn't matter.
Going so well.
And I was having a really horrible time at school at that point. And so basically they brought this lady into my school who is called an educational psychologist. Yeah. And so she'd come and watch me at my school. She came and watched me in classes. They talked to my teachers. They talked to me. They observed me in class and how I learned. And she was like, I think Kira has a learning disability, but because she hasn't been diagnosed, we need to get her diagnosed. So then I was finally diagnosed as having a learning disability. And for 10 years of my life, I went without understanding why I found life so difficult.
This is the problem, because people that have, if I can use the phrase, special needs, people that have special needs, there's nothing wrong with them per se. It's just the context they're put in. And like you say, but that applies to everyone in the best possible way, in the right context, with the right mentoring, the right support, people can thrive. I did a fantastic, I was privileged to be part of a fundraiser for a dear friend of mine called Emily Kate Owen, who has presented on this show from time to time. And she has a charity called Parents in Need. Yeah. And it's basically parents that, and I'm going to ask you about this in a minute, who find it very, very hard to get the help they need. And they can literally be on their knees. There was this most poignant speech made by this lady that was literally on her knees, and Parents in Need helped her out because EHCPs, is that the right acronym? EHCPs?
Yes, EHCP, Education.
They're like apparently they're as rare as hen's teeth to get, and it can be really difficult. And the mainstream, in my understanding, doesn't really have the greatest awareness of it. So people can, number one, be pushed from pillar to post. Number two, think there's something really wrong with them and take that label on themselves when all they really needed was the proper help. Does that sum it up fairly well?
Yes, it does. Yes. And at the moment, there's lots of talk at the moment around SEN and SEND. At the moment, there's lots of conversations going on around the SEND area at the moment, because the government want to make changes. And basically, so there's lots of things going on around it at the moment, which is brilliant. Like, I really hope kind of it all ends in a positive way. So for me, obviously, I'm now 46. I'm going to be 47 in September. And so
What
for
day?
me,
Yeah, we're making a note.
21st of September. 21st
Oh, on the
of September
14th. I
is
just
my
wondered.
47th.
You're a Virgo, are you?
Yes, I'm a Virgo. Yes,
Me too.
I'm quite headstrong.
Don't even
It's
go
very
there.
true.
Don't.
And so from the 10-year-old little girl who was told she was different, can't do anything, to now, I have been married for 12 years. I have a lovely, lovely husband called Mark, who I've been married to for 12 years.
Yep.
I have my own home. So I have a lovely home now. I'm very lucky. I have a wonderful career at charity MenCap. So if you've heard of MenCap, it's the UK's leading learning disability charity who I work for. I'm engagement lead at MenCap. So I've been at MenCap 24 years. So I've had a wonderful career with MenCap. And so I am all about making sure the voices of people with a learning disability like me are heard and seen. And that's my passion. That's my professional passion, my personal passion, my world. And so basically with my podcast, so the aim of my podcast show, my first ever live podcast show I'm doing the 26th of March, is getting people in a room, getting them to watch me, getting them to listen to me and going, this is brilliant. We need to change attitudes. So my podcast is all about trying to change people's attitudes about people like me who have a learning disability. So that's basically.
And what attitudes? Actually, just before I say that, we'll talk privately afterwards, because I'll give you an email address and you can email the details of this podcast to Radio Jackie. You're familiar with Radio Jackie, I take it. Where are you? Where do you live?
So I live in Epsom, but I'm actually in my work office right now in London.
Right. So if you're familiar with Radio Jackie, it's the local radio station.
Yeah, I'd be on it.
We can give some plugs for you on Radio Jackie.
Radio Jackie. I want to ask you a question. When you were at school and you said very eloquently you had a lot of learning difficulties. You weren't
learning disability different.
What you said. How did it manifest itself?
Okay. So, so just to make clear, learning difficulty and learning disability are two very separate things. So we're not dyslexia, we're not mental health. Learning disability is completely different to anything else. Just to make that clear, just disclaimer. I'm always very clear when I'm doing things like this, to be very clear about that.
Why are they different? In what way are they different?
So we class dyslexia as learning difficulty because you can kind of get. So with dyslexia, it's kind of finding it hard to read and write, whereas with learning disability, there's a huge spectrum of learning disability. It's like a big umbrella. So some people might have a mild learning disability, might just need a few hours support a week, whereas people might have a more moderate learning disability. Some people have a profound and multiple learning disability. They might not be able to speak, but they can still communicate in a different way. So everybody's different. There are 1.5 million people living in the UK with a learning disability. So there are lots of people in the UK with a learning disability. I'm very lucky. I can speak up. I have a voice, but not everybody is as lucky as me who have a learning disability. So coming back to your question, how does it manifest?
My question was this, 20 minutes ago, was this. When you were at school and you were trying to learn, what was hindering you? What would happen to you?
Okay.
That's what I'm trying to understand.
Okay. So basically, I would sit at the back of the classroom. I didn't understand what I was being taught. I didn't understand what I was being told. I found I could read, but didn't understand what I was reading. Comprehension. I couldn't do comprehension for pennies. I couldn't do maths. I couldn't add up, couldn't divide, couldn't take away. Maths to me was gobbledygook.
Me too, to be honest.
learning for me was just very difficult, basically. For quite a few of my classes, I was singled out and isolated, and in the end I was taught separately away from everybody in like a separate classroom, because I just needed extra time and extra support.
Okay.
So for me, because I was different at school, I was bullied by people because they didn't understand me. I was bullied by other class people in my class because I was different. And unfortunately, I know through my work that 8 out of 10 children with a learning disability get bullied. And that's a really shocking stat. And that it's because they're seen as different, because they have a learning disability. And that's really shocking. And so what we want school teachers to have the right training. So actually, if they spot that someone's struggling, they might then go, oh, actually, we need to give them extra time. We need to give them extra support.
Because the attitude has changed, hasn't it? Because I know so many people who have been in a similar situation to you, and they were just written off as, and I'm not using these words, written off as frankly stupid, or you'll never amount to anything. Now you're living proof that that's not true, given the right support and context.
Correct.
My mum was ambidextrous, and she could write with her left and right hand, and when she wrote with her left hand, the teacher would come and rap her knuckles with a ruler. I mean, that was the attitude in classrooms, you know. And I think teachers need to be really careful what they say to kids. You don't want to give kids a message like that, and clearly you're living proof that the opposite is true, which answers my original question: how did you get from where you are to shouting it from the rooftops publicly? I mean, clearly it's your passion, and it's obviously very well needed as well.
So when I left my special needs school, so after being at mainstream education, I went to a special needs education school. So I was bussed out of mainstream school at the age of 10 into special needs education school world. And so basically from the age of 16, I wanted to be in a world where people like me were heard. So when I tried to find a job, trying to find a job with someone with a learning disability, it's very difficult. Sadly, I know again through my career that employers don't know what a learning disability is. They don't understand learning disability. So back then for me, finding a job was very difficult because of attitudes again. And so then finally, after a year of going back and forth to the job centre, not getting anywhere and getting just totally frustrated, they went, oh, have you ever met the disability officer? Because she's here today. And I went, no, why haven't you told me about them? And so finally, I got to see this person, and they told me about my local MenCap service in Sutton, where I grew up. So I went and met with her, and she introduced me to MenCap, and I got my first job with them, and I've been here ever since. I've grown my career. So I started assistant level. Office assistant was my first job. And now I'm now engagement lead. I built my ladder career here at MenCap as a charity.
So there is a good awareness, even in the high street, if you like, in job centres and places like that. There is such a thing now. How long has this existed, this awareness that people do have special needs, if I can use that?
Sorry, please, can you slightly repeat the question? Sorry.
Yeah, of course. How the awareness presumably is getting better that people need different kinds of help, and that people with learning disabilities need a different kind of help to people without learning disabilities. It's like saying neurodiverse or neurospicy and neurotypical. And I think the understanding of that has increased. Is it moving in the right direction, is what I'm asking you, and what still needs to be done, do you think?
Okay. So attitudes are slowly changing in the public, but it needs to be even better going forward. And that's why a charity like MenCap is so powerful in that, because we're here to support the lives of people like me, and we can tell them what they can do and what they can achieve. So MenCap is all about that. Things are changing, but the public, we know, still don't understand what a learning disability is. Unless they've met someone, unless they've worked with someone, or they know someone in their family, or they've got a friend with a learning disability, they might not know that someone has a learning disability. You might not be able to see it. So when you look at me, you don't see my learning disability. But actually, if you were to come and spend a week with me at work or at home, you might see the things that I find more challenging and difficult. But people don't see that because kind of, for me, that's more closed door, unless people are in my life and they know me really well and I talk to them about it. So so the most inherited form of learning disability is Down syndrome. So someone, if they have Down syndrome, they might also have a learning disability. So you might be able to tell there that if someone has Down syndrome, they might also have an LD. But not everybody, you can't see it sometimes unless you talk to someone or you meet someone. So for me, I think public views are getting better, but we need more positive representation of us in the media. That's what we really need. So a really great example of this, and I'll get to it now, is Ellie Goldstein on Strictly Come Dancing. I don't know if you saw her on it.
Yeah, sure, of course.
She was amazing.
Yeah, of course, yes, of course.
So that was a really great example of representation in the media, her being on Strictly. Sarah Gordy, she's an actress who has Down syndrome. Tommy Jessup was in Line of Duty. He's got Down syndrome. Also, there's a guy who lives in Northern Ireland who's now an Oscar winner, James Martin, who was in an amazing film. Now he's got an Oscar off the back of it.
Who was that wonderful deaf actress? She was in the drama recently. I can't remember her name, but she's deaf in real life, and it was all about signing. What was that called?
She was Rose Ayling Ellis. Was it Rose Ayling Ellis who was on Strictly?
Yes,
okay.
I think so.
Yeah. And again, it was amazing. She was on Strictly to represent her community. And by the way, if anybody out there hears this, I'd love to be on Strictly to represent my community. So yes,
well, Neil's still dating Claudia Winkleman. You're in with a chance.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
That's what you told me.
I was lying.
Here's the thing. You're obviously very highly organized.
Yes.
It's very clear, because there's no way that you could, and take this in the right way.
Yeah.
You're here, you're present, you're absolutely rocking the show. You're very organized, but to organize your event on the, whenever it is, 26th or whatever. 26th, you've got to be highly organized for that. So that part of you, if I dare put it like that, I'm walking on eggshells here, is very developed and probably more advanced than a hell of a lot of other people.
Yes. Do you think other parts of you are more developed in you, because maybe needs must, than they would be in the average person you'd meet on the street? I mean, I'm thinking Rain Man. Everyone remembers that scene in Rain Man, where the autistic shows, genius. And I remember seeing those. It was a picture of all the buildings by the Thames, painted from memory. Not looking at it by an autistic person. And actually, but just while we're talking about
landscapes, he's unbelievable, that guy.
Yeah,
I know. But and another example is both Russ and I do stand-up comedy, and I've met many autistic comedians on the circuit. And they're brilliant. And absolutely flourishing. So
I actually had a comedian come on my podcast recently. I don't know if you've come across him, but he's called Alistair Barry. And he has a child with he has a child with a learning disability. And I met him at an event I was at. So I said to him, "Oh, would you like to come on and talk to me about that?" And he's really open about it, which is wonderful. And he's on the comedy circuit. And I had this conversation with him on my podcast recently. So it's on my Spotify account. Go and find it. And he and I had this really open conversation about comedy and taking the mickey out of people with disabilities. Like, how far, I asked him, how far do you think comedians can go without insulting people?
Well, it would depend if, the normal rule of thumb, which is a sort of unwritten rule, is that if you've got the same thing yourself, or if you're of the same persuasion, Jewish people can tell jokes about Jews. People of color can tell jokes about black people. But you've got to be a bit careful if you're making someone else a victim.
Yes, exactly. And that's what he said.
And that wouldn't be acceptable. So
acceptable.
I mean, I've heard autistic people get up and talk about their autism and do whole routines on it. I could name them now, but I would never, because I'm not autistic, or not as far as I know, I would never, while doing it, take the piss out of an autistic person because they were autistic.
You wouldn't.
No, that's not funny.
No.
You get cancelled.
And also, well, I don't know about that.
Plus, it's bullying as well.
The only other thing I would say, and I think you'd go along with this, Kira, is that if you have a situation with you and you get up to be a comic, you've still got to be funny. You can't just get up and get out of like Rosie Jones is not funny. Just not funny at all.
No comment.
I've never seen any of her work. What I do know is people are absolutely brutal about her online, and I don't think that's fair.
They don't have to be brutal.
I really don't.
Why are you saying no comment? You're free flowing with your thoughts.
I was a fan of her. I was a big fan of her originally, and I had her books. I'd seen her shows, and I was a big fan. But a couple of years ago, she brought out a documentary on TV. I'll be very careful because I don't want to get into trouble. But she used a certain term in the title of her documentary, which is very insulting to people like me. And it was used to start conversations, which is fine. But for me, it didn't need that to make the documentary. And it was I felt very insulted by that title of that documentary. Okay. For me personally.
Are we allowed to know? I don't want to put you on the spot because I don't know the answer.
I've just looked it up. I know what it is.
Oh, is it horrible?
Now, this is a difficult one because it is a controversial word, and it could be used as a hate word,
right?
But equally, it could be used to shock people into changing their thinking. So I'm personally kind of 50-50 on it for that reason.
All right, we'll leave it. We'll avoid it. Okay, we'll avoid it. I don't know. I have no idea what it is, by the way, because I'm not a fan.
For me, my personal view, this is only my personal view. This is coming from me as Kira.
Sure.
I felt as someone who I had admired and I was a big fan of in the world, in the community that I'm in, I felt slightly disrespected.
Set the community back for everything you've worked for, maybe?
Yes.
Got it.
So
I understand that point of view.
Sadly, I'm sure she's brilliant. I'm sure she's great. But for me, I felt a little bit like I'm not going to watch that documentary because I don't like what she's done. That was my personal view of it. So sorry, Rosie.
Why you apologize? Why apologize? Why? You are more than most. All right, let's cut to the chase here. You more than most have every right to say, I'm not comfortable with this. I don't like this. I object to what you've done. I feel insulted. Sod off. That you are entitled to do that completely. I mean, because I'm only meeting for the first time. I've known you. I've known you 32 minutes, right? My entire life, I've known you 32 minutes. But you're a force of nature. Clearly, you're a force of nature, and bravo to Neil for having you on as his guest. But the point is, if you look at I hate the word journey because it reminds me of X Factor and all that crap. But if you look at where you were, and where you are now, it's spectacular. It's spectacular.
My life's changed. Yeah.
It's life. Not only have you changed your life, but you've used your situation to change countless other lives. So you have every right, if you're offended, to be offended. It's fine.
So if someone
please don't apologize to her. You're upset. Because here's the thing. I'm going to say this. I'm sorry. I'm going to say this. You and her, you're an equal. It's not like she's up here and you're down there and I've got to apologize to her. Sod that. You're on equal footing here.
Because I'm linked to lots of organizations in the disability community, I'm just being very careful with my wording. I'm being very careful to give my own view. I'm very about disclaimers. Whenever I say anything, I always say my personal view, just so it's really clear.
I understand that. But I think we've got to a stage in life, whether you have difficulties like yourself or people don't have difficulties, you gotta, if you're offended, then you're offended. It doesn't mean it's right or wrong. but you are entitled to feel offended. All right.
Yeah.
I believe that. Whether you're right, I'm not talking about you personally. I'm talking
Yeah.
about a general situation. All right. Whether you are correct or you're incorrect, you still have an inalienable right to feel offended. That's okay.
Yeah.
We can't go through life going, everything's fine. I'm never upset about anything. It's a nonsense.
Yeah.
Some things will piss you off, and that's all there is to it.
Yeah. And this is the whole reason, coming back to why I'm on here to talk about my podcast. This is why I started my podcast 5 years ago in COVID, because I wanted to educate people about what's okay, what's not okay, and terms and language. And I've
teach us a little now. Teach us a little. What words are acceptable and what is not, given the general consensus?
Okay, so my personal choice is, when it comes to language, I want to be known as Kira, who has a learning disability. So Kira comes first and disability comes second. That's my personal choice. Everybody's different. Everybody likes different language these days, because I have so many debates over that. Don't start me. I'm
confused. I've got to jump in. I'm really sorry. I'm very confused. It's a genuine question. I'm really confused here.
Okay.
What would they say if it wasn't that way round? That's your name, Kira.
Yeah.
Right? Why would that not come first?
Unfortunately, people don't always.
You want your name before the label, right?
Yes. Yes. Person
Beautifully
first,
put.
label later.
I couldn't think how to phrase it. Thank you, Longie.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. So yeah, I want to be seen as Kira. I want to be treated like a human. I want to be treated like Kira. I want to be seen as Kira. I want people to see all the amazing things that I do. I don't want to be called learning disabled. That pisses me off. I don't want to be known as learning disabled. I want to be seen as Kira, who has a career. Kira, who has a #1 non-profit chart podcast. Kira, who has her own home. Kira, who's married. Kira, who does all these amazing things in the disability community. I want to be seen as Kira. Yes, I have a learning disability, and I will always have my learning disability. I get that, but I don't want people treating me differently. I don't want to be wrapped up in cotton wool. I want to be treated like anybody else in this world. I don't want to be seen as stupid. I don't want to be patronized. I don't want people tutting at me when I'm trying to take time to do something. I'm quite vocal. You'll know me. You'll know this about me. I'm very vocal in my views.
I hadn't noticed at all.
I'm on social media, by the way. I'm on X, on Instagram. I'm everywhere. So go look me up. And basically, I just want people with a learning disability like me to be treated like anybody else, because we're like anybody else. But sometimes we might just need a bit of extra time to learn, understand, and communicate. And if we have that, we can do everything else like everybody else does. But people don't get it. People don't understand it. And that's why they walk on eggshells. When anybody's talking to me for the first time, they walk on eggshells. And I'm like, just don't. Just say what you want to say, and I'll tell you if you're wrong. I'm quite happy to do that.
Kira.
Yeah.
Do you understand how, like yourself or many other people, we do walk on eggshells because we're so concerned about giving offense? More than that, because we're so concerned about not giving offense by mistake, by accident, by inference, and it's very difficult. So it's very helpful for you to say, this is what I want.
But I'm sure most people in your situation, as long as people make an effort to understand and treat you as they would like to be treated. Example, I have a friend who's trans. I made friends with a boy, and now I'm friends with a girl. And that's absolutely cool with me. But occasionally, because I'm not quite used to it, I'll get the pronoun wrong, and I'll say he instead of she. Now, is she bothered by that? Not at all, because I'm not being spiteful. I'm not being malicious. It's just a slip of the tongue. And she knows that I'm making, as I am now, every effort, to get it right. So, I mean, I'm sure there's understanding on both sides, if there are sides.
Yeah. I mean,
Hmm.
you know, I know when people first come and work with me, they're kind of not too sure. They're a bit like, oh God, what do I do? What do I say? And I'm like, just even if you spend 5 minutes, we'll have a chat first and get to know each other, and it lays that foundation. And then it kind of go, oh, but you're Kira, and I'm like, yay. And so it's just about talking to that person and let them lead that conversation, and you get to know them. And that's what I do now. Whenever I meet someone, from the off, I tell them I have a learning disability, and I tell them I'm very open about mine, because I want to change attitudes. But you know, sometimes I don't tell people, and they kind of go, oh, okay, I didn't know you had one. And I'll be like, yeah. And it's just about getting to know that person, what they're like, what they're into, what they like, what they don't like. And they will tell you if you say something stupid. They will tell you, and I will tell you if you say something. Don't worry. And it's just about, don't worry about putting your foot in it, because the person will tell you if you have. And it's fine to make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. Like, I even said something a bit donut head to someone this morning on the train, and then I realised, oh, I shouldn't have said that, and it was because I was tired. And I apologised to them, and they were like, fine. You know, we all say things we regret, right? We all make mistakes. We're not all perfect, but it's about knowing that someone might be upset, or someone might not, you might not see their reaction. And it's about kind of going, really sorry, didn't mean that. Like, it's just
I mean, I'd
about
like to
having
think that
empathy.
most people would be kind and wouldn't
Yes, most
deliberately
people
try and
are.
cause.
Yeah, most people
Yeah,
are.
you'll always get the small percentage of idiots, but you can meet an idiot anywhere.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, I've been in shops, and I've been in shops trying to find things, and people are totting at me, and I'm like, I'm so sorry. You know, I'm, you know, and people treat me like I'm an idiot sometimes in shops. I
Yeah,
go
but I
with my
can't find
friend.
things in shops. That doesn't make me an idiot any more than it makes you an idiot.
Um, you know, I have two friends who have autism, and whenever we go out, I have to stick to their plan. If for any reason the plan goes haywire, I have to then be on it and go, really sorry, I need to stick to their plan. It can't be your plan. And just, I'm so aware that all my friends have disabilities, and I have to kind of do that. I have to kind of go, really sorry, but actually you need to speak to them. They don't speak to me, speak to them. And they don't. And I then have to speak up. And it's just like, if their attitude changed, if they met them, they would understand. But it's just like, sometimes, unfortunately, with people like me, they talk to the people with us, they don't talk to us. And it's about changing that dial, and it's about changing that attitude. So for me, it's really important that
So
I'm
if
here to
you're
raise awareness.
with other people, are you saying
Yeah.
that sometimes people, what was that show? You know, does he take sugar? Because someone happened to be in a wheelchair. It's like, oh,
Yeah.
does he take sugar? The guy's in a wheelchair, doesn't have, you know, there's nothing wrong with his head. His just legs aren't
Yeah.
working at the moment.
Yeah.
But is that what you're saying? That people would talk to the people with you, not to
Yes.
you?
Yes. So
Really?
a really good example of this
Hmm.
is when I was younger, when I went to doctor's appointments, they would talk to my mum. They wouldn't talk to me. They would talk to my mum or my dad. They wouldn't talk to me, and I was the patient. And I'm just like, hello, I'm
Yeah.
here.
How
Am
old
I,
were you then?
am I
How
not?
old were you? I
I
get
was
that.
like
How
10,
old are you?
11. I was like 10,
Well,
11, 12,
I
around
would
there.
imagine. I would imagine a lot of doctors, with respect, probably still, if they're children, will talk to the parents as well. They talk to the patient, but they will talk to the parents. Especially if you're 10
Yeah.
years old, you know,
And
you're a
it's
baby.
And it's the same with people with a learning disability. I know of people in my career who have gone to see their doctor, and their support worker has taken them to go and support them, and the doctor will talk to their support worker, not the person. So I do a lot of work in my career around healthcare to make sure that doctors know about learning disability. We do a lot of campaigning here at MedCap around healthcare and people with a learning disability. And so for me, I know what I can have. I know the adjustments I can have made, because I work for an organisation that do them. So
Yeah.
I know about them. And so I want to just come into the world and say to people, actually, if you just talk to me, I can tell you what you need to do. I can tell you the adjustments you need to make. But people just don't know. And that's not their fault. It's not that
And that's why it's
Yeah.
really good to have conversations like this, because this it's when it gets nasty, is when misunderstandings happen.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about I'm not talking about the few idiot trolls. I'm talking about the majority of people that want to be kind, want to be decent. Now, a question I do have to ask you: in the workplace, with a condition, if I can call it that, such as yours, what is the responsibility or the duty of the employer to you and people in a similar situation?
Okay. So,
if any.
So for me personally, so take my job, for example. I have a wonderful development coach who works with me in my job, and they support me in my job role every day. So they make sure I'm monitoring my diary and make sure I go to meetings. They make sure I stick to my work deadlines. They help me prioritize my workload. They're there to go with meetings to me, and they might help me take notes at meetings. They're there to help me speak up if I'm finding something difficult. So I have a brilliant development coach who works with me in my job, and he is so it's through Access to Work. So Access to Work is a pot of money that the government gives to companies to help keep people with a disability in employment. And so he's basically employed through Access to work with me in my job, and some other people as well in our charity. He works not only with me but with other people as well. And through him, now I'm looking at my development in the organisation. So I've said, where I am now from lead level, which is the level I'm at now in my job, I want to become a director. So now I'm actually working and shadowing some of our directors to learn about what it might be like to be a director. And they put in reasonable adjustments for me so that I can go and do that.
It's wonderful.
For me, it's wonderful.
So, and if someone isn't lucky enough, I say lucky if that's the right word, tell me if it's wrong, to have that kind of level of support, which you completely deserve, and it's proof that put in the right context, anyone can flourish, which is a wonderful
Anyone can flourish
in the right context, I would say. But what if people are in the wrong context at the moment? Who can they go to? What help is available? If it's not available in their workplace, where can they go to start to take the steps to get it? I want people who are watching the replay of this to really benefit from this.
Okay. So they can apply for Access to Work funding. So if any employers are listening to this, go and apply for Access to Work funding to employ people like me, because it will help you. They can also go and talk to people in our MenCap employment service called Employ Me. They help employ people with a learning disability. So you can find them online through MenCap's website, mencap.org.uk. They're called Employ Me. And also go to job centres. Hopefully more job centres now are talking about it. So there's loads of places you can go to for advice. We have a helpline as well. We have a MenCap helpline, so you can ring up and get advice. There's loads of places they can go to. Or come and talk to me and I can direct you to where you need to go to.
You see, Kira.
So in a nutshell, there is hope. If you're feeling a bit on your knees, like this woman at this charity event, who did the most touching speech, no need for despair. There is help out there for the benefit of anyone watching this replay. And just take a look at you. You're an absolute testament to what's possible. Russ, sorry, you were going to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say this. What absolutely fascinates about you, Keira Knightley-Lawrence, is this. You just did probably about a 3-minute speech just then.
Yeah.
You never looked at your notes.
Nope.
Each item was there. You didn't pause. It's quite uncanny. It's uncanny. Neil asked you a question. You just reeled off a list of things that the majority of people could not do. They'd be umming and erring and pausing and trying to remember. No, boom, you went through it like a steam train. And I find that just fascinating. You're a force of nature. You really are.
Thank you. And, I just want people like me to be heard. I just want people like me to be seen and treated equally. That's what I want. And, I've been very lucky. I have had some wonderful opportunities off the back of my podcast. I've been asked to be a judge for an art competition, and that was amazing. I did that last year. And one of the other judges was the author of The Gruffalo. And it was really lovely. Julia Donaldson, she was one of the other judges. And so on the judging day, because I read her book to my niece and my nephew, like we love her books. I used to read them to my niece and my nephew. So we were big fans of her. And obviously I was there to do a job. I couldn't be there fangirling because that wouldn't have been professional. But at the end of the day, I took my copy of The Gruffalo with me, and she very kindly signed it after the work was done. I made sure I left it till the end of the day to kind of fangirl. And she signed it for me, which was really lovely. And it was funny because it was a week after the announcement that she was going to bring a new book out. And so that day we were told we're not allowed to ask her about it. She wasn't going to be able to talk about it. So like we knew, like we were kind of given the FYI of don't ask her about it, like even though the announcement came out, because obviously she hadn't written it yet. So now it's out. It's Gruffalo Granny. So yeah, the news is out now. She's put it out into the world that it's going to be called Gruffalo Granny. So I'm going to be getting that when that comes out. And it was wonderful. I got to meet her just by being a judge for an art competition. I've also been asked to go and talk at dinners and raise money. I've been asked to go to loads of lovely events. And so now I'm getting known as Kira the podcaster rather than Kira who has a learning disability, which is lovely. So I'm getting a little bit of a profile now off the back of my podcast, which is lovely. It's, by the way, I haven't said the name of it. Pink Sparkle Podcast is my podcast. Go and find it on Spotify. So I've had loads of stuff on
Stop. I'll tell you what. Give me a second. I'll pop a screen. I'll let Russ talk to you for a bit, and I'll pop to the link and get a screenshot of it.
So what's the name of the podcast again? Do it slowly.
Pink Sparkle Podcast. So pink, my favorite color is pink. I don't know if you can see that.
Just a bit, yeah.
Very pink.
Strawberry. Right.
So it's called the Pink Sparkle Podcast. It's on Apple Podcasts. It's on Spotify. So if you go and Google Kira's Pink Sparkle Pod or Pink Sparkle Podcast, it's all over the online. So you'll find it everywhere online. If you go and Google Pink Sparkle Podcast, it's there.
I see that you've had Judge Rob Rinder on there. I like
recently,
Rob Rinder.
Yes.
We love Rob
recently,
Rinder.
Yeah, I like him.
Yeah. He's lovely. He was very lovely. So I've had Rob Brydon, aka Uncle Bryn from Gavin and Stacey. He's been on. I've had my own cousin on. So my cousin is the Edge from U2, the Irish rock band. He's my cousin. I've had him on.
Stop.
What? Sorry.
Hang on. Sorry. What did you just say?
Your cousin is the Edge from U2.
U2.
Yes, he's my first cousin. He's Yeah.
He's your first cousin.
Yes.
And you have waited 52 minutes to drop that into the conversation.
Yeah. Yes.
52 minutes to find out your cousin's the Edge.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, U2 have just brought out a lovely surprise EP. I don't know if you've heard it yet. Their new EP is amazing. Go and listen to it.
Okay. That's what the podcast
in now.
That's what the podcast looks like.
It's hilarious.
And there's testimonials if you scroll down from there, but it's very pink. Kira Lawrence's Pink Sparkle Podcast. That's what it looks like. And you can get it, my friends. Let me just take that off. And you can get it on this link. I've simplified the link.
Yes.
If you
Brilliant. Thank you.
/Kira podcast, spelt as it is on the screen, or CIARA if you're listening to this.
Please go and follow, subscribe, like. You can do all of that there. Also on my Spotify account, you can also message me. So if anybody would like to get in touch, they can message me through my Spotify podcast account. So please get in touch, send me a message. I also have polls on there. So every episode I bring out, I have a poll and people can say whether they like the episode or not. So fill in the poll every time. So I try and make it really interactive so I know whether people like it or not. And then I can change it for the future. If they don't, if they do, great. If they don't, I can change it. And I love it. And I I was the very first person with a learning disability to have a podcast, which I'm very proud of.
Bravo, you.
And there are now more podcasters out there with a learning disability. They followed my lead, which is lovely. So there are more of us now. So I have to raise my game every time now. Like I have to get a really good guest and go, haha. No.
If only you knew somebody who was like one of the most famous rock stars in the world.
Yeah, I've had rock
Only
stars.
you- only
I've
you
had
did.
authors.
Don't go too near the edge.
Jeremy Vine's been on it. I know Jeremy, so he was easy to get on. So I tell you how I know Jeremy Vine, right?
Where are you going to? Go on.
Diana used to be my Sunday school teacher when I was a kid, so I've known the whole Vine family. I know Tim, his brother. I know Jeremy really well. And they've both been on my podcast actually.
Tim's birthday today, by the way.
Yes, yeah, happy birthday. So yeah, I'm gonna drop him a message later. So yeah, I've known his whole family like since I was like 9 years old through my Sunday school. And they're
I'm a
lovely
big fan
family.
of his brother, Tim. I do like Tim.
I love Tim.
Yeah,
Love
he's
Tim.
just re-brought out his Plastic Elvis film thing. So yeah, go
I
and watch
love
it.
Plastic Elvis. When he launched it at the Edinburgh Fringe, he invited me, and it was terrific.
Yeah, really, really good. Yeah,
Kira,
he's
you
pretty
are
funny.
Kira. We're
Yes.
almost out of time because I need to talk to Neil about something else.
Okay.
You're a force
an
of nature.
amazing
Can I
guest.
just say it's been? You go first, Russ.
No, I'm just going to say you've been an amazing guest. Thank you, Neil Longie Long, for finding this extraordinary person, bringing her to our own audience. Been a pleasure. A real
If you'd like to
pleasure.
see,
You're
Kira's
amazing.
podcast live. It's in Epsom. Give us the venue again in Epsom.
So it's Metropolis, which is in Derby Square. It's very near Epsom Library. It's within Derby Square. It's where all the bars are within Derby Square. It's there. It's called Metropolis. And it's like they've got food outlets. So you can go and eat there. They've got a staging area there where we're going to have it. So basically the tickets are on sale now on Eventbrite. So go to Eventbrite to buy your ticket. They're only £6, so they're cheap as chips. To pardon the who was it who had the cheapest chips quote? I can't remember what his name was, but yeah, they're cheap as chips at £6.
He was the chap who wore all the very, very, very tanned makeup.
Tango
Rob,
Man. I call him Tango
Rob,
Man.
Oh, I've forgotten his name. Can't remember.
Judith Chalmers.
so-
Sorry.
No, it wasn't Judith. Bless her.
No.
Bless Judith Chalmers.
So
Who's the other
yeah,
fella?
go to
The auction
Eventbrite,
guy.
go and buy your ticket. £6. It's going to be a really good night. There'll be a raffle in aid of Anna's charity, Autism Online. So all the money from that will go to that charity, and it's really worthy. And it's going to be a really great night, and it's going to be all about raising attitudes around disability and autism. It's
David
gonna be really
Dickinson.
fun. Yeah.
I have interviewed hundreds and hundreds of people. I've never known anyone plug the arse out of something like you can. Unbelievable. It's a skill.
Which is
It's a
exactly what we're
skill.
going to do in just a moment, isn't it, Russ?
Yes, we are.
Thank you, Kira. I think you're an
you so
absolute
much for
legend.
me.
It's,
You
I
are.
can almost feel your energy radiating out the screen.
I'm exhausted from your energy.
I'm not.
If you ever go off sick or need a holiday, I would love to do a DJ slot one time.
Do you mean DJ or presenting?
Presenting. If you ever need a spare presenter, if you go off sick.
Do that again, because
I tell you what, we could have you on as a guest presenter one week, one Wednesday, if you
Okay.
like.
Yes,
Fancy
please. That would
that?
be lovely. Yeah.
I'll be in touch.
Another
Just-
boat
just-
mate.
just let
Another
You-
promo, I think. is the phrase.
you unfreaking believable you are.
Just let me get a
Bye-bye.
word in.
Let
one
Neil,
more
if
thing,
you
Kira. I'm
come
going
on
to
as
send you
guest,
this.
Yes.
I'm going to send you this footage later on, so feel free to
Okay.
use it for any marketing purposes.
Okay.
I'll
Yeah.
hit you up on the socials.
Okay.
Much love. Good luck with everything, and we'll
So-
present together one day.
you.
Goodbye, bye.
How cool.
Bye. Unbelievable. she is.
tinyurl.com/Kira, CIARA podcast. We've just got a few more messages coming in. David Dickinson. Do you know I was going to say that, but I thought that was going
Couldn't
to be
think
wrong.
of his name. Couldn't think of his name.
I've
I've
seen Tim Vine in Ireland, says Mark.
Yeah.
Very, very funny.
Yeah, hilarious. Right.
Mm.
Tomorrow, tell us what's happening. She was incredible, by the way. Absolutely amazing. Tell us what's happening tomorrow, Neil Longie Long.
Oh, tomorrow. Oh, I can't remember. Is there something
Try,
happening tomorrow?
dig deep.
Oh no, it's
Don't
gone.
just
I
sit
can't
there
remember.
coughing. Discuss.
Well, give me a second.
Yes.
I'm just looking at something. Well, tomorrow we have, I'm
Yes.
delighted to tell you,
Yeah.
The Clap Comedy Club.
Yes, we do.
The Clap Comedy Club.
And what is that, pray tell?
It's a comedy club. It's in Hampton. It's at the Bell Inn. There's one or two little tickets left. And I'm just going to pop something else on the screen here quickly.
Can you buy tickets on the door?
You can buy tickets on the door, but it's much better to get them online. If you Google Clap Comedy March, you're headlining it. We've got Jeff Stevenson, who is brilliant. He is our opener.
He's unbelievable. I did Panto with Jeff. He is a very dear friend, and it's the first time I've ever been on a show with Jeff, except when we did Panto for a few months.
Very funny lady then, Susanna Spakarova. Molly Mole, that recently won a national UK competition run by Omid Jalili to find the funniest person in Britain. She's on the bill. Me doing a short set, trying out a couple of new bits. Jeff Alderman, a lovely lady called Tove Falk. And the screen's not big enough, but you are on the bottom of that poster.
I'm not even on it, am I?
You are,
I'm
man.
not even on this show. I'm not even on this show.
It says headliner Russ Kane.
So no pressure then.
None whatsoever.
No pressure whatsoever with a lineup of utterly brilliant people, and I haven't done stand-up for God knows how long. I'm having sleepless nights over it, I'll be honest with you. I really am. I'm even having my panic dreams.
Are you seriously?
Oh, yes.
It's a friendly room. It's a nice room, and I'll be there, and it'll all be all right.
Okay. Julie Boyce is coming. That'll be good.
I know she is.
Yay.
Robert Van Buren's coming as well.
Oh, dear God. Will he bring clocks and watches? Well, we know it's him because he comes in with the grandfather clock. And he just goes... I'm kind of looking forward to it, if I can get through the sheer terror.
Yeah, Julie, come and say hello. Come up and say hi. It'd be nice
to meet
you.
Of course she will, with her Stetson hat and cowboy boots and a horse.
Is that right?
Her. She brings a horse in wherever she goes. Yeah.
So if you'd like to come along, Clap Comedy March, and for the bonus for anyone watching this show, if you type in the code "Give Me the Clap," you get a discount.
Christ. Tasteless
and lowbrow, but would you expect anything less from me?
No, quite honestly. Anyway, as long as I don't let you down tomorrow, we'll be all right. I will be back on Friday.
Mate, I've seen you do stand-up. You're bloody brilliant. I wish I could come over there and slap you and just make you realise how good you actually are.
I even started watching some of your videos late last night, like 2 a.m. I was watching all these self-help videos to get rid of the inner critic. You think I'm kidding? I'm not. Ladies and gentlemen, there we are. I'll be back on Friday with Phil, Dave, and I'm not sure about Chantal because she's in Austin, Texas. Depends.
Jonathan Baz?
Jonathan Don't know about Jonathan. I've got to look at my schedule, to be honest. Anyway, till then, I'm sorry, it's your show. You sign off.
Yeah. Do you mind? This has been Russ and Neil on the Midday Show for Wednesday. Come and see us both at the Clap Comedy Club tomorrow night at the Bell Inn in Hampton. Use the code Give Me the Clap. Google Clap Comedy March. Give Me the Clap, and you get a cheeky little discount. Russ and the gang will be back on Friday, and I will see you next Monday. And we will get Kira on to do a bit of guest presenting. See if I can get a word in, but I think she'll be a lot of fun as well.
Not a chance. Just go. Hello. That'll be it. You can go off and have a coffee.
But wasn't she great? I mean, isn't she just
great?
A testament?
Doesn't some great?
And I've had this theory for a while. You put people in. I've had this theory for a while. You put people in the right context for them, and we're all different, and they absolutely thrive. For some, it could be a comedy club. For some, it could be working at Mencap. It doesn't matter. But the right context for them, and they thrive.
Ferociously smart.
Yeah.
Ferociously clever. She was just like the greatest ambassador. What a terrific person.
Glad you liked it.
I'm in awe. I'm in awe of that. I just thought it was
As wonderful. We will be after your stand-up set tomorrow. This has been the Midday Show.
Goodbye, everybody.